We walked a lonely road, so far from home. All we've come to know is a weary search for hope. All my pride is gone with the truth that I was shown. Though in time will grow, we'll still be alone.
Hello Space Engineers, welcome back to a glorious morning here on Hephaestus Prime. Here on Hephaestus Prime it's nice, but it's not nice at my house. Currently got a bit of a spring storm happening. We've had to batten down the hatches, so if you do hear any wind or anything like that in the background, that's probably what that is. So what's on the cards for today? Well, I've already broken camp early and made a start to the journey. Quite a long way to go. Now, I didn't actually realise quite how far away the site was until I flew back from it last night. I think it's one valley over from what I originally thought it actually was. It's quite far away, and flying back last night it got quite dark quite quickly, so I made it back safe and sound, but a little bit of a hairy ride, so I wanted to get away nice and early this morning. So absolutely fantastic as I crash into a tree, absolutely fantastic to find a location for the permanent base, and that's where we're headed to today. Now, given the distance, I really don't think it's achievable that I'm actually going to make it there this episode. So what I'm sort of intending to do is go about halfway, or what I think will be halfway, which will put me quite close to Treasure Island, to the pirate base. I won't be on the same level as it, I'll be up on the hill above it. That's the theory anyway. And what I've done is, some baggies in there, which it's good that I'm actually finding some resources. I think those are the first resources, some nickel and stuff as well. I think those are the first resources that I've come across since pretty much leaving High Peak, because there was just nothing around the trading post. But I digress. Since we're in the neighbourhood of Treasure Island, I think that I will raid it for some components. I'll just sneak over in the flyer. And what I did was, before I left the Delta site last night, I went across to that trading post and I took on some contracts just for some acquisitions. So I think there's some silicon wafers and some oxygen bottles, so nothing too major. While it would be nice to get some increased reputation and some money in the bank, the main purpose was actually I wanted to make a quick visit back to the Delta site and put a battery in and a wind turbine. I figure since I'm going to be delayed, probably take another day to get there, then I may as well sort of get ahead and start to store some energy for one of the first jobs, which will be digging a tunnel into the mountain. And I'll probably put a Gatling gun there as well, just to protect things. So hopefully I can fit all that on the flyer. As well as that, I really need to pay close attention to the track to get there. Quite lumpy and bumpy through this area, but there is a hill that I've got to get over when I do get closer to the Delta site. So I did, the sun was setting as I came back last night, but I sort of came around a hill where I thought the valley opened out, actually took me quite far north and made it sort of a 60k journey. So there is a hill that I sort of need to go over, probably that one that's kind of in front of me, but it's, as I say, it's hard for me to figure out exactly where I am. So I do need to formulate a bit of a track so I don't go up some dead end. Because, this beast, I've said it before, handles like an oil tanker. It goes most places, but it's slow and it just crests over these hills and comes down with a bit of a thud. So it is quite hard work. It's exhausting work driving it. But it's not a small thing, I mean, that's to be expected. So speaking of the beast, I did do a couple of things on it last night while it was dark, just putting some really final touches on it, and I'd say it's 99% there. Really, once I do reach the permanent base location, that'll probably be the time that I will publish this on the workshop, so I'm just sort of getting it ready for that to make sure it is all good to go. Probably talk a bit more about that next episode, because it's been quite a journey with this beast and building it, and I think it sort of warrants a bit of time to go over that. So one of the first things I did once I had swapped out those timers that were here with the small grids up the front, put in these conveyors and a sorter. The sorter bypasses the refinery, so it's blacklisted to only stop ores going through, so the ores will stay in these cargo containers at the back. So now the whole system is plumbed up. I can get like steel plates from any of these containers, and if I put it back in here in the ore one, the sorter that's further down the conveyor will just suck that away. So that's good. Those containers at the back, you could pick stuff out of them, but you couldn't put stuff back into them and have it whip away into the central repository. There also are those extra few containers in there. I really only needed conveyor junctions, but it seemed a bit of a waste not just to put the extra storage in. So just before we talk about the external connection, just stop on the top of this ridge here and have a little look around at the topography. So we're at what I call the green crater just over my right shoulder there. So we're on the sort of southwestern side of that, southeastern side, sorry. Yeah, we're making good progress, 15 k's already, and we're getting closer to Treasure Island. We're probably about halfway there. So over at the base of that hill, I think from memory there is like a stream bed that comes down. So I did make a mental note not to take the low road, that I had to sort of stay high up the top there to get around just at the base of that valley that's coming into view now, and then I can sort of scoot up on the diagonal over that hill, because I'm not sure I can get around the face of it. Anyway, back to the conveyor system. So yeah, I had to put a external attachment on, because I don't really, apart from the connection that the buggy's on, I don't really have an external connection readily available on this to connect into stations. So I've put a piston under the flyer landing deck to extend a connector out the back, and that way it's just nice and safe when we're travelling. Now sensors, I want to have a bit of a chat about these, because I've had numerous troubles setting these up in the past, and I've looked at tutorials and that, how to get the sensor field range visible, and I've followed them precisely, the instructions, and it's never worked for me. And I found that in the info there's a show a sensor field range, and I've not come across that before. I'm sure of it, and I haven't been told to do it in tutorials. Yeah, so I don't know why I've suddenly got that now and I never got it before. It's a bit strange. But anyway, so there we go. There's the visible field. I've set it up so that it registers when a station is nearby. So it won't go off with a character or a small grid. It needs to be a station, which I'm trying to demonstrate here, but it doesn't seem to be working. Oh, no, it's gone off because it's gone green. It's not red anymore. So it must be something to do with the sensor settings, the switch for the extending the piston. So I'll have a look at that. Don't know why that's not going. I'm sure I got that right. Oh, it is going. It's just very slowly. So I'll have to, must be just catching on something or not enough power behind it. So I'll sort that out. So there we go, Sensors 101. Well, actually, just talking about that, getting sidetracked again, it is something that I've contemplated doing some tutorials. Now, there's heaps of tutorials out there and people that are a lot better at it than I could ever be, and I don't want to take anything away from them. I was just thinking more along the lines of just some real snapshot type ones, like maybe a 3-minute tutorial just on a particular topic, so like sensors, and just 3 minutes, that's the max, just to quickly show how they work and some of the things that I've sort of found, an idea I'm toying with. And as for that piston, yes, I did get it to extend. It just needed a little bit more power behind it, so I just upped the power on it and it was able to push through whatever it was catching on. So back to the journey as the beast gets a little bit airborne and then comes to a very abrupt stop. I don't know what it hit there. It has sort of stopped and bounced and done a few things, but it's staying intact, so that's all good. This is that stream that I was talking about earlier that I think I saw on the flyer, that I'm just going to have to make a bit of a go around it. I'm pretty sure I can actually get down the stream bed itself and come out of it later, rather than sort of crossing over this top bit here, although I probably could get up the top there. Yeah, you can sort of, I don't know if you can see how lumpy it is just through here. It's causing all sorts of troubles with the traction on the beast. So I'll just swing a little wide to try and hit it on the right angle. So fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm not sure I can make it up that slope just there. Oof. Gosh. I haven't got the, like, what is it, the, not the strength, the power, there's the springs, the springiness. Ooh, gosh. It's just, I don't know what's going on there. It's just sort of stopped. Yeah, it's quite rutty up there. I think I might struggle to get up there. Yeah, I'm going to have to go down the stream bed. You can see it's relatively good down there, but I seem to be leaning quite a bit. Uh-oh. What's going on? Right. That back wheel's not moving. I think it might be stuck in the voxels. I've never had that before myself, but I've seen it on other people's videos. Yeah, that's buried. Okay. Just give it a little bit of a dig as the rain starts to come down. Oh, I think that's got it. Didn't take much. That seems to be free now. Right, so I was in there about 3 or 4 minutes, had to line up a couple of times, got on the bit of the serious lean again. Murphy's Law, I was only in that nasty little rut for about 3 or 4 minutes, and that was the only time that it rained and I couldn't see anything. If I knew it was going to be that short, that rain, I would have just waited. Ugh, anyway. Just a couple of quick things I wanted to also mention from last night. One was to do with the automatic LCDs and the battery level. Something to just make you aware of. I think it was in the instructions anyway, but the battery percentage is a percentage based on all the batteries. So even though the percentage might be quite high, if you've got small batteries that are very full and you've got big batteries that are almost empty, for example, the fully charged small grid batteries in the buggy and the flyer versus the almost flat large grid batteries in the beast, it only just combines those percentages together, not the actual amount of power, so it artificially inflates your percentage. So even though I was showing about 40 or 50%, the beast batteries were actually almost dead flat, so I had to give them a bit more of a charge up overnight. Pretty much only used about sort of 10 ingots of uranium, and that was quite enough to give them a good old top up. Now I spy in front of me something piratey has just turned up. Although it's kind of a surprise, it's also not a surprise. Before I get on to that, just one last thing from last night. I did just make a few more additions to the command center to make it a bit more commandy and a bit more comfortable. Just change that board table around a bit and put a projector table in there as well, so they can have something to talk about over their briefings, all those imaginary people that will never be in there. But anyway, the only thing I think I've got left in that room is probably just a couple of more panels up on the wall up behind the table there. I think there's enough room up there that there's nothing in that space, and I might put some inventory type information up there. So back to our journey and the pirate base that we are, I won't say rapidly, but quite quickly closing in on. I decided that I would take this opportunity now to make things a little more interesting and install a mod that spawns some more pirates. So I jumped on the workshop and found a spawner, which is, might be the only one, certainly seems to be the most popular one, and that is the Modular Encounters spawner, and that's by Meridius9, also known as Lucas. So I downloaded that, subscribed to it, and I also made sure I clicked the thumbs up button to support Lucas. So that mod is essentially a framework or an engine that allows other spawn mods to work. And the one that I've downloaded for now is one called Surface Occupation. This is my first base, surface occupation base. Well, I assume it is. For all I know, it could be a big, huge, ginormous one, but it hasn't spawned any drones, so I'm assuming it's the surface occupation. Now, linked on the Steam page is a YouTube clip by Splitsy, and that's a tutorial on how it all works. So all those mods and Splitsy's tutorial I'll link down in the description of this video, because, yeah, they are both just awesome, Lucas and Splitsy. So like I've done, make sure you give them the old thumbs up and other methods of support that they might be interested in. Now I've reached a bit of a crest on the hill and can see sort of the pirate base in the distance. So I might jump into one of the Gatling guns. I'll just figure out which one is the front one. Okay, so that's the front one there, and I'll just name that. And we'll have a bit of a look. So I reckon we're about halfway to the Delta site, and we're not too far away from the pirate base. So the general vicinity of the pirate base is where we'll probably end up parking up for the night, and I can take a little hop, skip and a jump over to the treasure island. And just before I get closer to the pirate base, I'll load a Gatling gun, or the front Gatling gun, up onto my menu bar so I can access it quite quickly. It didn't look like a very big base, so hopefully I can just use the one gun and sort of creep up on it and try and have a bit of a shoot at it before I get in range of the guns to shoot me. Okay, so made it down the hill, just approaching cautiously. Want to stay out of range of the guns, and I can use this Gatling gun to sort of see what's going on. Now I think I can actually drive the beast while I'm looking through the gun. Yeah, I can steer both. Now it's not very big, it's just a supply cache. Now I'm not actually seeing any guns on it, which is not what I was expecting. I mean, I must be just about in range if it's going to shoot me. Let's have a proper look. No, there's definitely no guns on there. Must be one inside, I guess. I'm not really feeling that comfortable about this. Surely something's not right. Nice boulder over there too. Might have to actually get some ores, because there was a few things in the trading post. You could cash in some ores, which I don't have any of. I only got the refined stuff. Okay, I think this is going to be close enough, and I will just very cautiously tiptoe over there and have a bit of a look. I'm just tiptoeing around this place because I still think there might be another gun around somewhere, just hiding, waiting to get me. No? Okay, maybe it's behind that door. 4 identical doors, maybe you have to just choose one. Although it does seem locked. Yeah, maybe it's like the old 4 doors to choose from. 3 of them have got a tiger behind them. The 2 down the end there did say open, but I'm not really keen to press those just yet. So it might have a little bit of a grind in the side, maybe? What does that say? Nothing. If I grind in the side and see if there's like a turret just on the inside of the door. Oh, was that a container? Yeah, there's a container in there. Okay, there's no turret in there. I'm still just not that happy about this whole thing. Alright, maybe I might grind down the control panel and hack it. Yeah, and then I'll just have a look and see what else is or I'll just blow up. Oof, okay, I must have triggered a sensor or something. Because, yeah, I didn't think I was really doing anything too major to it. Must have got too close. Alright, there's not much left. Just a big hole. Get my stuff back first. Okay, ooh. I think that just dropped on the ground. It scared me a bit. Oh no, there's a control seat. I was just about to say there's only really armor, and there's a timer and a sensor up there. So that must have something to do with how I've ended up. I'll just try and grind this down so I can sort of hack it. Oh, okay, I need to use a more basic grinder next time. Oh, okay, that grinder works quite well. Alright, I'll grind all this down and we'll get on with things. We'll head over to the treasure island. So that pirate cache turned out to be in quite a good spot really in regards to journey progress, about halfway between the trading post that's sort of 25 k's behind us, and looks like the other trading post is what, 24 k's, and the Delta site's about 25 k's, so good place to stop for the night. We'll head over to Treasure Island, which again is nice and close, and yeah, that'll make quite a good sort of campsite for the night, back by the beast. So hopefully I can get to Treasure Island and across to the trading post and get back to the beast before it gets dark, because as I say, it is quite gnarly flying this at night. And there is another beacon has just turned up. Now that's on that sort of plateau that I covered to get to Treasure Island, so that's definitely not... Oh, there's another one too. So they're not, they've been spawned, they're not installations that were already on the map, and it looks like they're both supply caches, so I might just go and have a little bit of a look, and we'll have a go at shooting one from a distance. I wonder if I can shoot a hole in the side of it and try and shoot out that timer. I think that might be the way to go, and that way I certainly do it from a distance. But yeah, certainly hoping to fly to Delta Site and back to the beast during daylight, so I can really scope out a track to cover, because I'm pretty sure I need to go over a hill, so I'll need to make sure that I can actually get up one side and down the other. So we'll just come into this cache here. Try not to overshoot it. I'll try and keep my distance from it. I think the maximum that sensors sort of work at is like 50 meters. Okay, fingers crossed. So it's the same sort as before by the looks. Okay, so it can't be a sensor because I barely even sort of touched that really, and I can't have like hit a warhead with a stray bullet, because all I did was just knock out a little bit of armor and the door or the control panel. Okay, gonna take a bit more investigation with that other one over there, I think. Try something else. Now, I'll have a proper look at this, if there's anything left in this one, like a timer or a sensor, and see if I can figure out why it's doing that. Okay, this time I'm going to use my tier 1 grinder and just very gently hack this sensor. Okay, so let's see how big the field is on it. Okay. That's not as big as what I thought it would be. In fact, that's not even above ground. Okay, so there must be something to do with the block destruction which is causing it to go off, because that sensor is nothing to do with what I was doing with it. I haven't triggered that. Alright, I'll grind the remnants of this one down and then I'll head over to the other cache and have a bit of a think about a strategy for that one. Okay, so I've thought about it and I think that I will just head over to this one and shoot it up with the Gatling guns. It'll no doubt self-destruct, but it is kind of getting on in the day. I really want to get up to Treasure Island, across to Delta site and the trading post over there while it's still light. The other thing is, it is getting quite heavy, this flyer as well, so I don't think I've really got a lot more capacity. I'll just let the guns automatically do this. Yeah, so it's not taking a lot to knock these things down, so there must be some script or some booby trap or something like that that's causing them to do what they're doing. So I'll just grind down a few bits and pieces of this and then head off up to Treasure Island. As expected, I did indeed need to leave quite a bit of steel plate behind at that last pirate supply cache, so I am flying very heavy at the moment and being super cautious. I would say it's the max load that the flyer can take, although I do still have quite a bit of volume available, but because of the heavy components that's not really applicable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at the automatic LCDs script and see if I can't bring up some sort of monitor to judge when my containers are full or getting close to being overweight. Well, the rain's set in again, but on a brighter note, I've managed to find some scripts that are able to help me with my inventory management on the flyer. Now I'm sort of having to flick between the two because it seems to also attract the pirate base as well when I'm connected to it. It seems to alter the settings slightly, which is a bit weird. So I've got the percentage of cargo used, which really appears to be the volume. Then the ship base mass, which is the weight of the ship empty. And then the ship mass, which is the sort of total weight of both the ship and the contents. I've figured out that 35 ton total is pretty much as I can safely lift with this thing. As you can sort of tell, it's barely getting off the ground like this, so just have to take it real cautiously. But that's good, it means I can sort of judge while I'm filling how much I've got, not a case of filling it up and then having to take stuff out. So yeah, again, automatic LCDs, the mod, absolutely awesome mod, highly recommend it. So I'll head back to the beast, get rid of the components I don't need, grab the ones that I do. I need to manufacture some oxygen bottles and also grab some canvas as well to cash in my contracts. As you can probably tell, the shadows are getting a little bit long. It took a little while to get all my inventory all sorted out. I am loaded up to the max at the moment. Weight isn't so much of a problem. Thing is, one of the contracts was for quite a few oxygen bottles and they take up quite a bit of room in the inventory volume wise, so a bit of a regret there. I don't think I'll be taking on any of those particular contracts again. Now while it's light, just having a bit of a scope out, making sure that I can get down into this lake. It doesn't look too high because it would be great if I can scoot across this lake bed because it looks a decent size, and charging across there in the beast rather than going over the lumpy terrain surrounding it. So I can certainly get down here, but can I get back out again? Yep, I'm fairly confident I'll be able to get out. down this end. So that'll be a nice little sort of shortcut. Now the next trick will be getting up over this hill, which isn't looking too bad down here, but certainly looking a little bit more tricky up here. I'm probably going to have to sort of cut across on a diagonal maybe. Yeah, I can probably go up to here. There is that sort of rut down the middle as well, which I'm just going to be aware of. But yeah, I should be able to pick my path and make it. I may just need to come up here, and I can probably go up that sort of rut and then cut across the face of the slope. I'm not really seeing anything here because there's plenty of green grass that doesn't contain the ruts. Yeah, I'll just cut back across that slope and around the top. I'm sure the beast will be able to handle this. I've been up worse. Well, I'll keep having a bit of a scope out of this track as I make my way to the trading post, but we do need to push on because the day is getting on and so is the episode. By far the worst terrain was on that first side. It was quite gentle coming down this other side. And yeah, a little bit lumpy, but just really meadows getting over to the trading post here. So I'll hook up into there, which we've got now. And I'll cash in all these contracts. I think there's about 4 of them. Most of the stuff I've actually got in my own inventory, so I'll only take a second. Contracts not stored. Alright, so done, done, done. And the oxygen bottles that are taking up my full inventory are in the flyer. Okay, just have another quick look. Just see what is in the way of hauling. Oh, we're not going to touch the oxygen bottles. 141 kilometers. Because I am sort of trying to see where nearby bases are. 141, that'd be the moon probably. Okay, well best I get going to the Delta site and set up this windmill and battery. Here we are, coming over the rise down into the lake bed to the Delta site. Don't know what I'll call my base. The Delta site is where it is. It's not necessarily, in fact no, it won't be its permanent name. Now I am a little bit nervous about putting this windmill in. The reason is, it's not the windmill, it's not the battery, it's just the first block that I'm going to place, I'm going to be basing the entire facility off. So I need to get it level to gravity on the very surface of the ice, and all my future construction will be based on this block. So I better get it straight, I better not get it crooked, and I better get it pointed in the right direction. Okay, so fingers crossed, that is it. It's just touching on the surface, so it's not sitting on there, it is in the voxels. And yeah, alright, so I'll just build off this over to one side and put the windmill in, but when I come back here and start digging, the floor of the tunnel will be one block below where that one is that I've just put in. So I'll keep putting this windmill in, put the battery in, work through the rain, and then I'm going to gun it back to the beast before it gets dark, because the sun is not far from going down. And with that, I'll call it a day. It's been a really busy one actually. We've got a lot done and we've covered a lot of territory. So yeah, it's been a good day though. I've really enjoyed today. And that just really leaves me to say thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And yeah, we'll catch up with you next time hopefully. Stay safe out there and have a good one.